now at borderradioaz.org. And thanks.
What's up, Yuma? I'm Johnny Porter.
And I'm Victor Calderon.
On today's program, we are going to be joined first by Paul Mahacek. He is the CEO of AtmoCooling, and we're going to be discussing agricultural innovation, extreme heat challenges, evaporative cooling technology, and the future of farming in hot desert climates, just like right here in Yuma. After that, we're on to Manuel Flowers and Ivania Garcia. We're going to be talking about tattoo culture, lowriders, entrepreneurship, and their third annual Rollin Old School Yuma Tattoo Fest and Car Show that's going to be happening September 11th through the 13th at the Yuma County Fairgrounds. So stay with us for What's Up Yuma Radio, beginning right now on KOFA 94.7 FM.
And streaming online at borderradioaz.org and on the KOFA app. You can also view our show on the Border Radio Facebook page and the KAWC YouTube page. And don't forget, you can reach out to us by email at whatsupyumaradio@gmail.com.
What's Up Yuma is sponsored by Citrine Law, LLC, a Yuma law firm practicing criminal defense, DUI defense, and personal injury law. Information is at citrinelaw.com.
Chili from Philly. Nick Papagiorgio from Yuma.
Johnny Show! What's up, Yuma?
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to another episode of What's Up Yuma Radio. I'm Johnny Porter.
And I'm Victor Calderon. And Johnny, I want to mention last night we had the Yuma Mayor and Council Candidate Forum. That's a mouthful. Try saying that 3 times fast.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to do it. You know that. But
Yeah.
How'd it go?
It went well. We were there at Onvita Health in the administration building, and it was a good crowd. And we had the 2 candidates for mayor. So we had Doug Nichols, the incumbent, and we had Carlos Adams, who we had on the show. Mm-hmm. And we just found out today that we're going to have Mayor Nichols on, so we'll get to ask him some questions later.
He just booked this morning. Yeah, so he'll be on what day did we?
I think the 17th. 17th,
yeah.
So we'll remind folks when that comes up. But yeah, and then we had 4 of the 5 candidates for council. So there's 3 seats open, 4 were there. 1 write-in, and 1 write-in could not be there.
Okay. And how many write-ins?
There's 2. So Priscilla Ruedas was not there, and Derek Egeberg was.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So how do you think it went?
Yeah, I think it was great. You know, we streamed it on our Facebook page. I know others had it on their Facebook page. So if you didn't see it or weren't there, you can catch it online. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was a good crowd. We had the questions. There were some hot topics that were discussed, like data centers and just overall spending. Spending like what these candidates want to see for the city. In terms of spending. And I think it went great.
Yeah, and Carmen was the co-host or one of the hosts or one of the moderators. Yeah, there you go.
So shout out to Carmen. Yeah, she's a superstar.
Yeah, I was watching, and she did great. She's just so fluent with it, just like it doesn't miss a beat.
Yeah, so she was there along with a reporter from the Yuma Sun, James Gilbert. So they were co-moderating. So they were trading off on questions and then trying to get as much in with the candidates as we could.
Yeah. So all right. So I'm glad that event went great. That was a cool partnership with KAWC, our sister station over here, and Yuma Sun. So I hope to see many more of those.
Very much so. And yeah, shout out. We also had a couple of student journalists out there, Sahe and who we've had on the show, and Chloe. So they were there interviewing people about, interviewing voters about what they would like to see for Yuma. So that was great. And we also had Kevin helping out with photos.
Yeah, I want to see a shield put over Yuma to block the sun. That's what I want.
Like a heat dome.
Like a heat dome, yeah. So whoever can do that for Yuma, I'm going to vote for them.
Let's work on that, council. No.
Yeah, right. Who do we got today, Victor?
We have Paul Mahacek, CEO of AtmoCooling. Thank you for being here this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. In the show, and I just want to say, we just found out when you got in, one of your interns for this company was on our show. Give her a shout out real quick.
Yeah, Addie is she's awesome. Love having her around. It was a great surprise to Monday morning. One of the folks on the team came in and said, "Hey, turn the radio on, turn the YouTube stream on. Addie's on the show."
Yeah, and she's one of the recipients of
the Helios Ready Now Yuma Scholarship. That's another mouthful.
I always rely on Victor researcher for those things. He's the reporter background, so he's better with that. But anyway, thank you for being with us. I appreciate it. We're going to get into your business that you're a CEO of, Atmo, right?
AtmoCooling.
Atmo for atmospheric cooling.
Exactly.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit, but we like to get to know our guests before we do. So where are you from originally?
Originally from Merced, California, so Central Valley, very similar to Yuma.
Like climate-wise, you're saying?
Climate-wise, it's hot, not as hot, but it's ag, it's small community, it's tight-knit. Yeah.
Victor, are you familiar with this place?
Merced. I know there's a UC school there now. I don't know if it was there when you were in college.
I'm going to date myself with this. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Sorry.
I didn't quite make it, but my sister was actually in the very first class.
Okay.
So she was that Vanguard class there at UC Merced.
Because I know it is newer and like with an ag focus versus like some of the older UC schools that are out there. But yeah, so it's familiar. So it's Central Valley, California. Like, again, like Paul said, very ag.
Yeah. So that's where you grew up, and was ag a part of your life growing up, or?
Absolutely.
He's shaking his head. Yeah.
Yes. This was something my father was in cooperative extension. So this is about information dissemination. How do we take new technology, new information, get it out to the farmers?
So your father was in ag, but in the tech side of ag, which you're at?
So it's the government program through the cooperative extension through University of California.
Okay.
This is about how do researchers help farmers to grow more crops to be more effective.
So what would your dad's duties be in this cooperative?
It was everything. So it's the county level, and you've got all kinds of things that are going on. But one of the big projects was actually 4-H, and if you're not familiar with this one, it's a after school youth enrichment program. So it's a wide variety of things. It can be animal husbandry that you learn about rabbits and sheep and beef and swine and those kind of things. It can be home economics kind of things, but it can also be engineering, robotics, photography.
4-H can be all that?
4-H can be all that. And it continues to grow. So as we have new leaders that join the program, whatever skill sets you have. So if you have a marketing skill set and you want to teach the youth in the local community about marketing, you could do a project through one of the clubs.
Wow, I had no idea. I grew up just thinking 4-H meant that like you had a bunny or a goat that you were raising and you were going to take it to the fair. That's all I thought.
Yeah, to the Yuma County Fair.
Yeah, to the Yuma County. But there's more to it. I had no idea about that.
Absolutely, yeah.
So did you do the 4-H program when you were a youngster?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, so what was your angle?
Oh, it was everything, because it was great. You had so much exposure. We did sheep, we did small engines, we did different engineering things, leadership. So as in the earlier years, you learn the skills, you learn the specific things, and then as you get into that high school age range, you switch over to leadership, where you're starting to teach those things, kind of learn public speaking. How do you teach these things you learned? And that's, I think, when you really start to learn things, is when you try to teach it to someone else.
Yeah, that's exactly what I've heard. Yeah, if you really want to learn something, you got to start teaching it. Yeah. You teach it, and then it kind of absorbs into your body, into your, your brain. And so, okay, so then you did it. At what age did you start in 4-H?
I think 4th grade is kind of when you become the young member there, and then all the way through high school.
All the way through high school. So then you went through high school, you started teaching these things, and you mentioned leadership. And I've interviewed plenty, even at my old station, plenty of kids in 4-H. And leadership always seems to be something that really, really stands out with them and that they're proud of. And public speaking as well, because they would come on the show, these youngsters, and they would handle themselves in a certain way. They'd come in, I don't know, I think just from time to time and kind of give us updates. And did you learn that as well, like this public speaking side of things?
Yep. We would have, every year there'd be a public speaking day. You could have things prepared. You could do things extemporaneously. You just show up and they give you a topic. You have a few minutes and you get up and you talk about this thing. Yeah.
So now those fundamentals and the things that you've learned, you're a CEO now. Right. And every 4-H kid that I've ever interviewed, it's like, okay, I'm going to be this, I'm going to do this. And I never doubted them when they said it, because the way they held it, again, their posture, the leadership that they took. Now, so when you were young, you knew you wanted to do something in this field?
I had no idea.
You had no idea.
And even now, I don't know what I want to do.
That's cool. You're same boat as me, man.
I knew engineering was going to be a big part of it. We kind of had this through line of extreme environment stuff. I've worked in the Arctic, the Antarctic, Central America, South Pacific. I've gotten great opportunities, but it's always been, how do you develop tools and technology, instrumentation to explore the world around us?
Okay, so you're in high school. You're going to graduate. You're going to go to some university or something, right? Now, how did you choose that direction?
So I went to Santa Clara University over in the Bay Area, California. I had been on campus a lot. I was very comfortable with that. They have a great engineering program. I was on campus during high school and really fell in love with how warm and welcoming it was there on campus.
So engineering, why engineering? Why did that always become the common thread throughout your life?
I think the joke version of that is that I knew as an engineer, you don't have to wear a suit to work. I think there's a lot of things where you don't have to, but I knew that was one.
That was one.
So I was like, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to be a lawyer. I'm not going to do that. But yeah.
So what are the, I guess, as an engineer, what are your duties as an engineer? What makes a good engineer?
Yeah. Curiosity about the way things work. If it's taking apart stuff and being able to put it back together, understanding mechanisms or electronics. I do a lot of system level work, so it's logistics, coordination. It's how do you make.
So you even
things.
have some logistics into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. So then, taking it apart. So engineering, you want to take it apart, but you want to put it back together. But you also want to take it apart and put it back together better, right? Like,
I mean,
right? That's
working.
A part of it, right? Well, I know working, but part of it, it's like, okay, how do we do this better now, or how do I make this into something better, more efficient? Maybe is that part of it?
Yeah. It can be. It should always at least be about learning, and even if you don't improve the product that you're working on, this thing that you're working on, improving yourself. I'd say that successes are great, but I learned so much more from failures. You learn what didn't go wrong. You learn what went wrong, what didn't work. That's how you can improve and build. If it worked, it's like, I didn't learn anything because the thing that I did at the beginning is what came out at the end, and it just worked.
All right. So then you go to your university, and what do you graduate with?
I did my undergrad and graduate work was all in mechanical engineering and then mechatronics and robotic systems.
Oh, wow. That sounds fancy. I like that working with transformers and stuff over there. Okay, then how do you end up in the Arctic, in the Antarctic?
I actually don't know. It was kind of this wide path, and it was a lot of saying yes.
Say yes to opportunities.
Yeah, right place, right time. Santa Clara was fantastic for getting you to a place where you were prepared with all the materials, and then making sure they could connect you into that network, so you were exposed to those opportunities.
So, okay, not only did you get an education, you're also saying that you got introduced to a network of sorts. And now you said that's a regular thing they do? They always kind of pride themselves in it? Or are you fortunate enough to get in with the right people?
I think this is something that higher education needs to be doing in general, and a lot of them do this very successfully. Santa Clara in particular, of course they do. I was also going out of my way to find, this is the lab I want to work in, being present, showing up, making sure that I was there my professors knew who I was.
So then you said, what was your first opportunity? You said you don't remember really how you're just wandering around the Antarctic. Like, I don't know how I got here, but what led to that? What was like the first opportunity you got, the first network that you jumped in with?
So I think I was a freshman there. I found this robotics lab, and they were working on these underwater robots. And I had never seen this before at all.
I've never even heard of this, but yeah, let's go.
So remotely operated vehicles. This is like James Cameron going down to do the Titanic.
Yeah.
This kind of stuff. So you have submarines and robots and all these different things. And so I started to kind of get this exposure and realized, hey, this is a big thing here. You have MBARI, is Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute. They do tons and tons of research, and part of what they have is engineering and development of these kind of tools. Through that network, I think I was linked back to someone from Moss Landing Research Lab, and they had this project going down to build a robot that would go down through the ice and then explore underneath the ice shelf in Antarctica.
Okay, and so what role do you take when you go over there? So you're over there, you get your coat and your beanie and your
layers and layers.
And what role do you take when you get there? You're part of a team, and okay, here's maybe a problem, or here's here's something we want to do, you say, okay, you're part of a team that creates the solution to make this happen?
Yeah, and actually it was before that. So we did about 6-7 months of development before we went down to the ice. So this was taking the product from what it was, doing upgrades, making everything field ready, loading up all the.
So you're doing your best to make it in the lab of sorts, and then you're going to take it over into the real world and hope that all of your math and everything works out.
And it's been rinse repeat for me throughout my career. Is always do something in the lab, go test it out in the field.
Anything crazy where it's like you did it in the lab and then you're out in the field? Because you mentioned failures, and I don't know if that's one of them, but I saw a video of I don't know if it was a rocket or something exploding here recently. And so any crazy failures like that when you take it out and oops.
Yeah, I mean, literally rockets. I was at SpaceX for 5 years.
Okay, you were at SpaceX. Mm-hmm. Okay, so but tell me about one of those incidents.
I think one of the worst ones. So I worked on a vehicle called Dragon and Crew Dragon specifically. So this is what we put people in to send them back to space from U.S. soil. Very, very early on when I was there, we had one of the vehicles we lost, not with people on board, of course. But that was a pretty rough day. So I think we've had some, but that was a very big one to have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours from so many people putting in that much effort. So I think this has been a long time now. This is 2015. So
a long time ago, things happen. And then how do you deal with that? You said it was a rough day. How do you deal with that and say, we got to go back to the drawing table?
That you do exactly that. You get back in there and you get back up on the horse, you back to the drawing table, and you go again. Mm-hmm. You hope that you have the instrumentation, that learnings that I was talking about. You learn more from those failures. You got to make sure that you were recording things. Mm-hmm. If you weren't writing stuff down, if you weren't documenting, if you don't have any way to know what was going on, you're going to have a tough time learning from that failure.
So that you have all these diagnostics, you have this, and that's the way that you would do your autopsy to find out what went wrong?
It could be from recorded data, everything to the logs of how things were built. We just did this with our team last week. We did our deployment here in Yuma, and Addie was there as well. We had the whole group together, and we sat for about 2 hours. We talked, hey, what went well, what didn't go well? And it wasn't necessarily that we had a lot of things written down, but it was fresh. We go through and we run through that process, that retrospective, and make sure that we're rolling all that kind of back into how do we operate.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. And after this, we're going to talk about your new business that you're the CEO of. And we're going to find out how you're solving problems in dry, heated climates like right here in Yuma. Yes, if you didn't notice, it got hot yesterday. All right. We're going to do that right after this. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
Bopping to the new beats heard around the world, or relaxing to the tunes of memory lane. We are your non-commercial source of music. Run by volunteer hosts, this is KOFA Border Radio, 94.7 FM, 1320 AM, on the KOFA app, or at borderradioaz.org.
KAWC and Border Radio are media sponsors of the Lutz Summer Jazz Series, with concerts every other Friday from 7 to 9 p.m. at Lutz Casino on Main Street in Yuma. On June 5th, the Yuma Jazz Company welcomes song stylist Mia Delgado. Details at yumajazz.com/Lutz.
You're tuning to 94.7 FM. The weather forecast for Yuma today is sunny and breezy with a high near 107, gusts as high as 25 miles per hour. Clear tonight with a low around 72. Amidst funding shortfalls, South Africa has rolled out a new HIV prevention injection that could transform its fight against the epidemic. And in May, U.S. employers added jobs for the third month in a row, while the unemployment rate held steady at 4.3%. To read more, visit kawc.org/NPR-news. Stay tuned to 94.7 FM.
Exactly how does Border Radio bring you some of the most incredible music on the planet? Listener support. Donations from people who care. Your support is an investment in the powerful idea that handcrafted songs from yesterday and today should be accessible, relevant, and always playing for everyone. Visit borderradioaz.org to support the music, and thanks.
It's going to be breezy in Yuma and La Paz counties today with a high near 107 in Yuma, gusts as high as 25 miles per hour. Clear tonight with a low around 72. Sunny in Hunt Quartzsite with a high near 110. Gusts as high as 25 miles per hour. Clear tonight with low around 75. And sunny in Houghton Parker with a high near 110. Clear tonight with low around 73.
Tom Hacksaw Colson had a 2008 Ford Escape Hybrid that lived a previous life working in photo radar. After using it for years car camping, Tom's car died right outside of Parker. Rather than tow it, Tom donated the car to Border Radio. If you'd like to donate your vehicle, running or not, visit borderradioaz.org/cars.
KOFA Border Radio doesn't sound like any other radio station in Yuma. We are a non-commercial source for music from around the world, across the decades and local artists. Our hosts are volunteers. If you would like to get involved, send an email to music@borderradioaz.org.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up, Yuma Radio. We are here joined by
Paul Mahacek, CEO of AtmoCooling. So we're talking.
Yes, I'll leave it to Victor now. He got some questions.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
So we're talking about how, you went to Santa Clara, you're making connections in like the Silicon Valley, like everyone knows that's big on like tech and, there's all these startup companies and whatnot. But so how do you get from there? We were talking about how you got to Antarctica and you took advantage of some opportunities. So how do you get to Yuma?
So if people aren't aware how much produce comes out of Yuma, it's incredible. 90% of all the produce that's grown in the U.S. for the winter comes from here. Mm-hmm. So in terms of what we're trying to do to expand growing seasons, Yuma is exactly what we're talking about. Just before this, the past 3 years, I've been over in the Middle East. So in Abu Dhabi, we have one of our operational facilities there where we have been able to cool down the air temperature and try and look at what we can do for ag, for urban cooling, for infrastructure.
And so you're in the Bay Area, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so what is the process of how you got to Yuma, right? So you said, the company and you had something maybe in your mind?
So there's actually a lot of steps in between there because I went from the Bay Area to France, to Los Angeles, to Bay Area, to Phoenix, to Abu Dhabi, to Yuma. So yeah. It's been a long route.
You got the freaking flyer miles then.
One or two now. Yeah.
So how did the idea of AtmoCooling come about?
It's actually my co-founder that originally had this idea, and it's his grandfather has had the concept for maybe 30 years. It's a very long. He grew up in Egypt near the Suez Canal. He was a naval architect. So he kind of had all these elements together of understanding thermodynamics, understanding the wind, living in a hot, dry climate, knowing how critical it is to cool down things, the air, whatever it is. So unfortunately, he did not have the resources in terms of what we have now, satellite data, huge histories of weather, 30, 40 years of historical weather data, things that we have now. So his grandson and I, we're the two founders of the company. It's been 4.5 years now since we started, got our initial funding, went directly to the Middle East and started doing operations there.
So we talked about off air about how you've been at the Southwest Ag Summit here, and I've covered that. So tell our listeners and viewers what you've done there, like maybe equipment you've shown off or just networking you've done.
Yeah, it's a great event that happens. It's right here on campus. I think it was just over on the other side of the coffee shop here where we had our booth there. On the other side, there's tons of equipment that comes out. It's the latest and greatest. There's demonstrations, people showing off the latest laser weeding systems. These are really cool now. It's all camera operated. So some really interesting stuff. We haven't gotten the chance to bring our hardware out, but I think this next year we'll have the results from our trial here locally, and we'll be able to take people out to the site.
Okay, Johnny, have you been to that?
I haven't. I think I'm going to be there the next year. We're going to cover it, but hopefully we'll be able to do that next year. So tell me the concept behind AtmoCooling.
So what we do is large-scale evaporative cooling. We use water, and by changing it from a liquid to a gaseous phase, it sucks in heat.
Okay.
So if you're here in Yuma right now, you can go downtown, and some of those restaurants that are on Main Street will turn misters on. I think we've all kind of seen this, that it's nicer. It's that. There's nothing different except we go much, much, much larger, and we do things more dynamically. So we have instrumentation, weather sensing. We measure the wind speed, direction, the temperature, the humidity, and then we look at how it needs to change based on whatever you're trying to do. Mm-hmm. So we dynamically change the amount and the size of those droplets to create a cooled downwind environment.
So then you said to expand the season, you're saying like, because there's always, I grew up here, born and raised, and there's always the season that everybody's here doing all the harvesting and planting. Now you're saying that season could go longer based upon this technology.
Yeah, there's two elements to what we can provide. One is extending the season, because if you can ensure that temperatures will be cooler longer, you know that you can plant later. So kind of bridging that gap when growers have to pack up here and they need to go to Salinas, and they're doing it earlier and earlier every year. So if we can keep them here longer, they can be more productive with this land. So one is extension of the season, but the other option is, even if you don't want to extend your season, you just need protection against high heat events. In January...
Just anyway, because sometimes we do get those anomalies where it's like, why is it so hot right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like in this past January, we had this crazy high heat that came in the middle of the month, and it's like, what's going on? Lettuce growers had it bolting. So that lettuce was taking off, lost a lot of product due to that, right? They had no one expected that you have those kind of events that are going on. And depending on how you're out there in the field, you can't just irrigate. If you grow cantaloupe or, a variety of different things, if you try to over irrigate when things are really hot, you're going to lose that product. It's going to crack open. If you grow alfalfa, your proteins break down. So you might get more material, but there's no nutrient in there if you keep trying to grow in the face of heat. So there's all those kinds of things we look at, that you can't just irrigate more in order to cool it down and fight that heat. You need to treat them as a separate layer.
So your business, do you have a product or it's a concept? What is it exactly? Explain to our listeners.
So it's cooling as a service, if you want to think about it this way. For the growers, what we were trying to do is have things that are very quickly deployable within a 10-day weather forecast. If they call us up and they say, hey, I see there's a heat wave coming. We need to protect this land. We've done some legwork in advance to understand what they're trying to do, where they're at. We can get things deployed out there very quickly, make sure they're protected for the remainder of their growing season. So that's the one version for those high heat events. Or we can install a permanent installation. They want to keep growing. They know they want to invest in this land. They can have even more cooling capacity, and they can do that with a permanent.
So then let's talk about logistics then, because you said if somebody like, hey, this is coming down maybe in 10 days, maybe in 5 days, then you're going to have like set up stations or places where you're going to keep this stuff, rent out some facilities? What's the game plan for that?
Yeah, that's what we're working on right now. So we've got a little bit of space. We're over at Elevate Southwest.
Okay.
There's a nonprofit local that is a co-working plus incubation site here in Yuma. They've been fantastic hosts for us. So we do have a little bit of space there, but we need to grow. But we need to, get those customers and kind of keep building. And it's a little bit chicken and egg to see where we're going to deploy and keep pushing up.
So, and then you're mentioning the chicken and egg. Now, how do you grow if you don't have a product available on the market? Is it investors, people that believe in you? You got a GoFundMe account? Like, tell me a little bit about that. And I'm facetious on purpose, but go.
No, it's exactly that. It's not a GoFundMe, but we have investors that we've gone to, VC, that believed in not only the product and this challenge that we're trying to address, but us as individuals to start the company.
So then how does it work with the investors? You tell them like, this is the concept, this is what we want to do, and tell me a little bit about that process, or tell our audience about it.
Yeah, so us specifically, we incubated with a company called Marble, and this is a deep tech venture studio based out of Paris. So they did a match. They found me. My co-founder was already working on it. We joined together, started to do more development of that technology, and then we all decided, yes, this is good, it has potential, and then we launched it. So they did the initial funding and then pushed us out into the world. Okay, and so now you're out in the world. Now, how is the testing in the real world? How's that been going? It's been going awesome. We did a paid pilot with a customer in Morocco a few years ago, but we spent most of our time, as I said, in Abu Dhabi, and that's where we have 10 acres of land. Is it similar climate to here in Abu Dhabi, or is it hotter and drier? Hotter and drier. we know that Yuma is the hottest, driest, sunniest place in the country. But where we're out on the other side, last year we spent more than a week at 130 degrees. No way.
I hope you stay hydrated out there.
Very. You got it. We were just talking about that. Yeah. I mean, even here, everybody stay hydrated.
Yeah, sure. Victor was making fun of my gigantic water cup, but you got to stay hydrated. But tell me, so you're there, so they definitely got a problem.
Absolutely. They have
right?
an opportunity. It's an opportunity.
I like that.
Yeah.
We're going to high five right now. I like that opportunity because that's what a problem is. It's an opportunity. So you're saying that you're going over there and you already done testing for your product in Abu Dhabi?
Yep.
How'd that go?
It's gone fantastic. We have a permanent site there that's been operating for 2.5 years now. We've seen 15 degrees of cooling delta. Mm-hmm. So we're talking about changing entirely the way things are grown.
Mm-hmm. So you're there, and were they very welcoming over there? Because again, problem, opportunity. You said we have a solution for this, and now it's a possibility of them having a whole agricultural setup, just like we have in Yuma.
I don't know that it's ever going to be like Yuma. Yuma's beyond incredible. You have this Colorado River resource that we need to continue to protect that enables us to do amazing things. They don't have that there. All of their water comes from desalinization. The amount of groundwater that's available, there are no rivers. That doesn't exist. Right?
I didn't know that.
There's no surface water anywhere except for what's created. Mm-hmm. Right. So this is something they've really been looking at. When we're over there, we use saline water to do our cooling. So we don't touch fresh water. We actually use the brine reject, a waste product from desalinization. And that's what we're using to do this cooling. So in terms of being welcoming, we landed there, and I think within 36 hours of us landing in the country, we had a handshake deal for this 10 acres of land that we're on. They said, hey, we have power. We have this wastewater product. Please come. Go have fun. We hope that this works well. So it was really welcoming, and they are, yeah.
And then same in Yuma, have been welcoming. You've been finding partners to work with and people that want to have the solution to these issues.
Absolutely, absolutely. I called out Elevate earlier. They've become family. You know, we're spending so much time over there. But additionally, the folks out at the Agricultural Research Center, the University of Arizona, and the Cooperative Extension Office here have all been fantastic folks to work with.
Yeah, and so we are running out of time for this segment. Definitely want to have you on more as this develops, but tell everybody where they can find out more information.
Yeah, you can go online to AtmoCooling.com or come right out to the Agricultural Research Center and see our plot out there at the corner of 8th and Somerton.
Oh, that'd be a cool little field trip. I like that. Thank you so much for coming on. Best of luck with your all of your ventures, and that'd be pretty cool to see this. And extended, and just for the economy alone here in Yuma, that would be a huge boom if we could extend that, because we know during that season is when a lot of money comes and passes through Yuma. So if you can extend it, props to you, man.
Yeah, absolutely. We agree wholeheartedly.
All right. And with that, we are going to go to a break. We'll be back with Manuel Flowers, and he's going to be talking about his event. It's the Rollin Old School Tattoo Festival that's going to be going on right here in Yuma, Arizona. We'll be back with that. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
Run by music lovers like yourselves, KOFA Border Radio has what you need. A non-commercial home filled with music heard from all over the world. Tune in at 94.7 FM, 1320 AM on the KOFA app or at borderradioaz.org.
What's Up Yuma Radio is sponsored by Citrine Law LLC, a locally owned Yuma law firm where clients work directly with a local legal team. Citrine Law practices criminal defense, DUI defense, and personal injury law throughout Yuma County. Information is at citrinelaw.com. The City of Yuma hosts Water Safety Day on Saturday, June 6th from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. at the Valley Aquatic Center. Participants will learn skills and tips from the Greater Yuma Safety Alliance to focus on drowning prevention and water safety. There will be food vendors, fun activities, and more. Details at yumaaz.gov/events.
For KAWC News in Yuma, I'm Victor Calderon. The Yuma County Sheriff's Office says a deceased female found Monday morning south of Yuma has now been identified as a previously reported missing 15-year-old girl from San Luis. Deputies responded just after 10 a.m. to the 11,700 block of South Adams Avenue after receiving a report of a body. The Sheriff's Office Criminal Investigations Bureau took over the case and is continuing to investigate the circumstances surrounding the death. Authorities have not released details about how the teen died, and no suspects or arrests have been announced. The Sheriff's Office says next of kin notification has been made. Investigators are asking anyone with information about the case to contact the Yuma County Sheriff's Office or submit an anonymous tip. The investigation remains ongoing. For KAWC News in Yuma, I'm Victor Calderon.
The KAWC Student Newsroom is funded by the Local News Initiative at the Community Foundation for Southern Arizona, the Scripps Howard Fund, and by generous local support. Thank you for supporting the next generation of public media. Learn more about the project and hear stories from emerging journalists at kawc.org/student newsroom.
It's going to be breezy in Yuma and La Paz counties today with the high near 110 in Quartzsite. Clear this evening with the low around 75, gusts as high as 30 miles per hour. In Parker, sunny and hot with a high near 110. Clear tonight with a low around 73. And sunny in Yuma with a high near 107. Clear this evening with a low around 72.
Vitalant is hosting blood drives from June 11th through the 18th at locations around the area, including Ativo Senior Living, River Valley Estates Library, and Onvita Health Medical Center. One blood donation can save up to 3 lives and help ensure that medical providers have the blood they need for emergencies and ongoing care. Details at vitalant.org.
I'm Mike Suba, and I'm a big supporter of KAWC. You're getting a great source of information about our community, about the people that are working and living here, and you start going, you know what, this is really a valued service. And that's the great thing, is you've got a partnership here. And I'm a big believer in partnerships because the one thing I realized early on in life, I can maybe do a lot of stuff on a very limited basis, but when I start partnering up, it's amazing what we can do when we pool our resources. And so I hope that when people are listening to the station, enjoying the news broadcasts and the entertainment shows that are being presented, that they realize that you're not only the end user and enjoying what's being broadcast to you, but it can be a partnership too, where you can participate like I've discovered I can do and help get this service, enhance it, and provide even better programming. I'm Mike Suba, and I support KAWC.
Tuned in to Border Radio KOFA. We are your local public radio station that celebrates the power of music to bring people together. You can see our playlists, listen to our live stream, and listen to past programs on demand on the KOFA app. Find it at your favorite app store.
The Yuma County Library District invites readers of all ages to unearth a story during this year's summer reading program. Beginning May 30th, track your reading and enjoy entertaining and educational events at libraries across Yuma County through July 18th. Information and program details are available at yumalibrary.org.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up, Yuma Radio. We are here now joined by Manuel Flowers and Ivania Garcia. Thank you guys for being with us. And you're going to have to get really close to the mic. Let's bring it over there.
All right.
Thank you guys for coming. You drove all the way from Phoenix area, right? This morning.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Got up real early, made the drive. It was nice and smooth, nice and cool outside.
Yeah. And so before we get into the Rolling Old School tattoo event that you have going on, we like to get to know our guests and find out what makes them tick and why they do what they do. Manuel, you're originally born here in Yuma?
Yeah, I was born at Yuma Regional. I grew up over on 8th Street in Magnolia at my grandma's house. Mm-hmm. And my family, we all lived here till I was about seven or 8. Mm-hmm. And I would come back and stay here during the summers. I'd come and visit my grandma, help her. She had a little segunda. I'd help her run her segunda and translate for her.
Oh, very cool. And so you were here till 7. Where'd you go after that?
We moved to the Valley. So I grew up in Mesa, but we would move back here and there too.
Back and forth.
Yeah. I went to, so when I was living here, I went to Pecan Grove, O.C. Johnson, and Somerton Middle School. And during a couple of the summers that I was here, I came here to AWC for the JTPA program.
Oh, yeah. So I did that as well. That was a cool program. It was originally how I started getting involved into the workforce, right? They kind of teach you quite a bit. And so when you were young, were you always, because you're a tattoo artist, that's what you do for a living. You have Next Level Tattoo. What's it called?
It's Next Level Studios.
Okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Over there in the Valley. So when you were young, were you always drawing? Is that something? Is art big part of your life, or was it a different path?
Yeah, so when I was a kid, my mom would take me to work with her. She didn't really have a whole lot of money to spend on daycare, so she put me underneath her desk with like my toys and paper and pencil, and I'd just be down there drawing, hanging out. And then all throughout my academic career, I took art classes, junior high, high school, some college. Art has always been a big thing for me. And as a matter of fact, I grew up and I would typically watch like a lot of cartoons. I was into a lot of wow, I kind of just lost my train of thought.
No, you're into cartoons. You're watching cartoons. Did you start?
Books.
Yeah, were you drawing some of those? Or was that some inspiration?
Yeah, so I was definitely into comic books growing up. And so growing up, art's always been a big part of my life. And one day a friend of mine brought tattoo magazines to school, and that's what did it for me.
And this high school or?
Yeah, high school.
High school, the tattoo magazines, they come, and then you said, what, I could do that? Or?
I think that it just looked so cool that I wanted to somehow be involved in the industry. I wasn't sure how. I wanted to be in. And originally I wanted to be a body modification artist, doing body piercings and implants and things. And that just gradually transitioned over into tattooing.
And so did you start right away outside of high school? Did you start when did you start on that path?
So I did a little bit of college. I did, right out of high school, I did a little bit of the military. I broke my neck in a car accident, and that put me out. So I went to school. I started going to community college. I did about a year and a half in community college, where I took art classes there. And then from there, I met a tattoo artist outside of Circle K on 27th Avenue in Glendale in Phoenix. And I followed him back to the tattoo studio, and I never really left.
Oh, so was he like a mentor of sorts then? You said you went back over there. Did you ask him questions? Were you curious?
So I followed him back to the tattoo studio. He was my first mentor, and you just learn, you study underneath them, you clean up the shop, you do their prep work.
Yeah. And so what was that like when you got into the shop and you started to see this? Did it kind of click like, definitely, I could do this?
So it definitely did. I feel like tattooing came very, very easy to me, I'm sorry, not easy, came very natural to me.
Naturally, okay.
Yeah. I apprenticed there for a year underneath Aaron Kroll. And then I had a second apprenticeship. I got fired from my first apprenticeship for not signing a contract to the tattoo studio, binding me to them for a 30-70 split for 2 years. I wasn't going to do that. So I left that studio. I got a second apprenticeship, and in my second apprenticeship, I worked with them. It was actually terrible. They were really, really mean back then. Hazing and bullying was like a big thing. But I wanted tattooing more than I wanted anything else in like my whole life, so I just was willing to put up with it.
You stuck it out. You stuck it out. You went through it, and obviously probably learned some lessons, what to do and what not to do.
Definitely.
Right? We had a conversation outside of Friday Night Munchies, and the way that you were talking about holding your event and the way you hold these, everybody there responsible. It's like you want a place that's positive and elevates, right?
Absolutely. We're very selective about the artists that we bring in. The goal of the tattoo show, the Tattoo Fest, was to elevate the tattoo game here in Yuma. It was to help build the network and bring everyone, make it a community thing, bring everyone together.
And Ivania, where are you from originally?
I'm originally from California.
From Cali. What part of Cali?
Echo Park.
Echo Park. That sounds familiar. I think I heard it in a movie or something. Now, how did you fit in all of this? I know, but Dixon is my favorite. I wear Dixons all the time. They give me a hard time.
You're wearing it now.
Yeah.
I left my Dixon in the car, but I also wear Dixon.
How could you do that? You're a Dixon model, right? You model for them.
Yes.
So how did you get in? Did you just meet him and it's like, okay, tattoo me?
He was a family friend, and he and he did do my first tattoo, and he's
first one.
Yeah, and he's done the majority of my tattoos. We've been together for a long time, so it just worked out naturally. Also, I like to take pictures, and I'm pretty social, and I would go to events with him. I was very proud of his work, and we would do competitions. So I would be on stage a lot. And
So
I
how
feel
does
like
a competition work?
So you get an awesome tattoo that you're proud of. You enter, you enter, and you get judged by, prestigious tattoo artists that can judge your tattoo, and then if you win, it's a pretty big deal.
And so you guys met early on. You said family friend.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. You're laughing. If you don't want to, you don't have to.
No, her uncle was my former apprentice.
Oh, okay. Former apprentice. There we go. And so you mentioned being social. I noticed when I was outside of Munchies, he got to kick back, and then you were passing out flyers. And, like, people would walk by.
Yeah.
You were like, "Hey, this event's coming up." So
Yes.
you like to take on that role to help support what he does?
I do. I like to be a part of everything he does. I think he's very inspiring, and it's amazing what he can do. It helps so many other people too, and it provides opportunities for everyone. So by being in that situation and having the right tattoos, and it put me in a place where I started off obviously supporting him, but then it also opened up doors for me.
Oh, really? So
and
from
that's-
being in the competitions and being in this and being highlighted, what
Yeah.
doors did it open for
So
you?
that made it so I could start my modeling pretty much. That's how I started working with other brands and being at tattoo conventions, just being at the right place at the right time with the right tattoos. And he is also very likable too, so I think it worked out. We complement each other very well.
And then you mentioned that you like his vision. He's a visionary,
Yes.
and he brings things together. When I originally met him, one of my longtime friends that I kind of started doing stuff, Marcus Kova, everybody knows Kova. He had nothing but great things to say about him,
Right.
and so that attracted you to him, and then you said, I want to
Absolutely.
support him.
Absolutely.
And so what are some of those things that you like, those qualities, when he puts together an event like this?
So he is somebody that definitely, he has dreams, and it's not just somebody who talks about it. He makes things happen. And I've seen him do that throughout his career. In the time that I've been with him, he's moved mountains, and along with that, he'll take everyone with him, which is, I think, the greatest thing, his kindness. And he never stops. So, as he's working on this, he's already thinking about like the next thing, and he visions it, he starts doing it, and he'll tell you little bits about it, but he's already like a million steps ahead, and you just got to keep up with him, make sure, 'cause
So you like
can't
that
hold him back.
excitement? You like a little bit of adventure because you're always on to something?
Absolutely, and he's successful, so I trust everything he does.
And then, so this is going to be the third annual one. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
That's the third one. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break. On the other side of the break, we're going to talk about how you started the very first one and what we can expect at the third one. All
Sounds
right.
good.
We're going to do that right after this. You're listening to What's Up Yuma Radio right here on 94.7 KOFA Border Radio.
This is Border Radio, KOFA, your passport to your global destination for music. We are your local public broadcasting station that can be heard through your radio at 94.7 FM, 1320 AM, on the KOFA app, and at borderradioaz.org.
What's Up Yuma Radio is sponsored in part by Nova Home Loans, serving Yuma County and nearby communities. Nova Home Loans offers residential lending services, including home loans and refinancing. They are also proud supporters of local community efforts and organizations. More information is available at novahomeloansyuma.com. Where else on the radio would you hear the set that just played? For the most part, the music you hear on Border Radio is pretty hard to find on commercial radio stations. You'll hear this music only on a public radio station like Border Radio, where you, our listener, truly appreciates it and owns it. Visit borderradioaz.org to donate today.
It's going to be breezy in Yuma and La Paz counties today with a high near 107 in Yuma, gust of size 25 miles per hour. Clear tonight with a low around 72. Sunny in Hunt Court site with a high near 110, gust of size 25 miles per hour. Clear tonight with low around 75. And sunny in Hunt and Parker with a high near 110, clear tonight with low around 73.
People collect all sorts of things: stamps, antique lamps, sports memorabilia. If you happen to collect cars and you're looking to make room in your collection, look no further than donating a vehicle to KAWC and Border Radio. Pickup is free, and you're helping this service bring you the programs you count on. Learn more at kawc.org/cars. WACOG provides family and community services to help low-income individuals in La Paz, Mojave, and Yuma counties, providing tools to help build a path to self-sufficiency. Services include housing and financial assistance, advocacy, and caregiver support. Details at wacog.com.
Turn on Border Radio KOFA 94.7 FM and cross musical borders every day. From new indie discoveries to timeless classics, listener-supported Border Radio brings you music you won't hear anywhere else. Live, local, and online at borderradioaz.org and on the KOFA app.
Is it? No way.
What's up, Yuma? Welcome back to What's Up, Yuma Radio. We are here with Manuel Flowers and Ivania Garcia. Thank you guys for being with us. So, Yuma, you're originally from here, you said. And so how'd you get the idea, Manuel, of coming in and doing this tattoo festival?
So I wanted to host a tattoo festival here in my hometown because I know that there's never been a tattoo event here. I wanted the opportunity to bring it all back home. There's something about Yuma, it's like a homing beacon that just brings me back.
Yeah, it happens to a lot of people.
And, you know, there's a lot of shows all over, but there's a lot of shows in the Valley. Mm-hmm. And, you know, there's nothing like this going on down here. I thought this was the perfect place to bring it.
So how did you do that? What was the first steps that you took? Obviously, I mentioned Kova. He's done a couple of pieces of mine. Did you reach out to like somebody through social media? Did you already have a relationship with him? I know you mentioned the Onyx Place or whatever, the original owner of that.
Oh, L. Yeah.
L. So
Yeah.
tell me about that. Yeah, rest in peace.
So I've had a pretty good relationship with a lot of the artists here in Yuma. I originally started tattooing here over on 4th Ave at Extreme Ink. And I've had a relationship with tattoo artists here in Yuma since then. Going back with Kova, I met him through a tattoo artist, a mutual friend. And he and we just really hit it off. I thought that going around meeting with the different tattoo artists, you know, finding out who's who and like really searching like for quality work from the artists, to showcase Yuma correctly. We've gone through and done that, as well as collecting like the network of tattoo artists that I know from, you know, all over, and gave them the opportunity to come down and check out my hometown.
So then you put this together, you're highlighting the ones here in Yuma, but you're also bringing people from how many different cities, different states, stuff like that?
Yeah, I think that we have someone coming in from Canada this year.
From Canada even, okay.
Mexico,
all over. We've had artists from all over California, as well as New Mexico,
Seattle,
Vegas.
Mm-hmm. I think it's cool for even the tattoo artists to get to work together, because as they know each other, you know, that gives opportunities for them to do guest spots and stuff and work with each other in the future too. So I think that's really cool how he's bringing the community together in the tattoo world.
Yeah, absolutely. And so then how did you reach out to them? Do people start to even reach out to you? Because you did your first one, you have to put that together, and you're just kind of doing the same thing, messaging people? Or?
Yeah, so it was a lot of footwork originally. You put together marketing material, and you just hit the road. We've done a lot of other tattoo conventions to promote this show, networking with those artists, as well as coming down here and just doing a lot of footwork, meeting people at local events and car shows and so on and so forth.
Yeah, and so I want to talk about that. You said the car show. You felt it was important to kind of marry the two worlds because you think they were already, you know, adjacent to each other anyway, right?
I really believe that. I think that the automotive, like the car scene, it's also a form of self-expression like tattoos are. And I think that bringing people together with like the car scene, I think cars, it's a form of art, and you're able to showcase the two. You've got people like Carlitos Alaves that does pinstriping and painting on cars, and he's also a tattoo artist. So there's places where everything just kind of merges together.
A lot of talent.
Yeah, and so you can expect that at this event, right? So you can go, you see the cars and the great tattoo artists all in one place.
Pinstriping, engraving, yeah.
Yeah, and so then do you have a DJ? Is there some like music playing, or
we had a DJ at the car show last year, and we had just a playlist. We have playlists playing inside.
We're still in the air, I think, about right now.
You're in the air about, okay. And that you think the two worlds, you mentioned art, and so like the same way you could modify your body, you can modify your car, right?
Absolutely.
So that's why those things are kind of adjacent to each other. And you also have a car, correct?
Yeah. So I have several.
Several, okay.
Yeah.
I saw the one you brought out at Munchies, but...
So I came up, I was always fascinated by the lowrider scene. Growing up on Dr. Dre videos and so on and so forth. But for me, I finally got the opportunity to buy a classic car just a few years ago. So I bought a 1968 Impala. I think that's always one of those things on your checklist you want to accomplish in life. I even loved it so much I got it tattooed on my hand.
Oh, so then how did the same thing? You just start reaching out to people, car clubs in that world, and say, okay, here's my vision. Let's put it together.
That and just going out and doing all the car shows.
Oh, so you do the car shows as well? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I thought that it would be kind of funny if you through a car show you weren't in the car scene or you didn't have a car yourself. So I wanted to come out and really like meet with everyone and just find like that common ground where you guys can talk about cars.
So now at this event, this is the third annual one. Are there competitions at this event, at this expo?
There will be. We will be hosting tattoo competitions every night. We usually start like later on in the evening. Tattoos are judged by 3 different judges that we choose. They and then at the end of the night we give out awards for the best tattoos as well as those like specific categories. We also have a best of day, and then at the end of the weekend there's a best of show. And at the car show we have tons of different categories for the car show for awards as well.
Now tell me about how does a tattoo one work? So somebody comes in, you have a model or somebody that's willing to be tattooed, and like they do it there. Or is that something like, is it like really on location?
Yeah, so that's one of the unique things about a tattoo convention is you get the opportunity to see these pieces of art being done real time in person. And the tattoo competitions consist of both healed tattoos as well as like fresh tattoos. Okay. And this tattoo competition, I allow the opportunity to enter both healed and fresh tattoos into the categories throughout the day. Because of the distance, right? Yeah. And I think that one of the things about this show is I wanted to keep politics out of the convention. I wanted to focus on, may the best tattoo win.
So how do you do that? How do you keep the politics out? Tell me about that.
Well, we have a criteria where we come up with 3 different pieces of criteria for how we would judge a tattoo. And then each judge would then give each category a certain number. And then at the end, those numbers
tally them together?
Yep.
And okay, so then anybody that's a tattoo artist can enter?
Yeah. So even if you're not a tattoo artist that's tattooing at this show, you're welcome. Even a client or customer, collector, can come to the show and enter a tattoo. You can enter any tattoo, whether it's fresh or healed. It's done there or not. And I truly believe that what makes this show unique is that we really go off the quality of the tattoo rather than who did the tattoo.
And our judges have integrity too, so they're all quality. You're being judged by tattoo artists that have that that have done that work before that can actually be a good judge of the
they know
the
what
quality.
They're looking at.
And you're saying this is different than other type of conventions or expos to a degree. Now, what's been the response? Do people like that? The artists like that?
I think they do. And again, so we welcome everyone to enter their tattoos into the competitions. However, I'm sorry, repeat the question.
It's all right. We are running out of time anyway. So tell everybody how they can find out more information. If you got a website, any social media to follow you, and also on your tattoo company.
So you can check out our social media at Rollin Old School on
Rollin
Facebook.
_ school.
Okay.
And then
on
our
Instagram.
website, yes.
The website's rollinoldSchool.com. And we have nextlevelstudiotattoos.com.
And then when and where is this event going to take place?
The tattoo convention takes place this September 11th, 12th, and 13th here at the Yuma County Fairgrounds.
Yeah, at the Legacy Building, right?
Correct.
Yeah, inside. Yeah, very cool building. I love that they added that to the fairgrounds over there. Thank you guys so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. And with that, it's time to read this. What's Up Yuma Radio is a production of KAWC, Colorado River Public Media. We broadcast from the studios in the Matador Activity Center at Arizona Western College in Yuma. Want to thank our engineer, Talon Gonzalez, along with Anthony Ornales, Juan Garcia, and Dave Reek.
You can find out more about KOFA at borderradioaz.org and on the KOFA app. Stay tuned for KOFA's Midday Music. Do you have the names? I have the names.
Yes. Okay, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. We have Nasira and Alex on Monday with Yuma Core Kids, and we have Case Limeroff
from High Tanks Brewing Company.
And you can listen to the podcast version of our program and check out past episodes anytime at kawc.org/podcast/what'supyuma radio.
And if you want to get on this show, make sure you visit what'supyuma.biz. That's what'supyuma.biz. Click on that radio link and click book me. Also, you can check out some cool events going on at that website as well. Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate each and every one of you. You have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.
What's Up Yuma is sponsored by Citrine Law, LLC, a Yuma law firm practicing criminal defense, DUI defense, and personal injury law. Information is at citrinelaw.com.
This is Border Radio, KOFA.